Hello, Hollywood, and welcome to this morning's Walk of Fame ceremony. I'll start over again. That music was great. But hello, everyone, and welcome to this morning's Walk of Fame ceremony. And a special welcome to those who are watching our live stream presented by Variety. So I'm LaRon Gubler, President and CEO of the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, which is presenting today's program. And today we are honoring a man who has been a big part of the history of the American music industry. Today we honor music executive Clarence Avant with the 2,590th star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. How about that? Now, before I bring Clarence to the stage, let me tell you a little bit about his achievements. And you can cheer for whatever you like. Clarence Avant is known to many as the godfather of black music. Born Clarence Alexander Avant in 1931 in Greensboro, North Carolina. Do you have anybody here from North Carolina? Clarence was one of 8 children. He attended a segregated 2-room school until the 3rd grade. He spent his freshman and sophomore years at Dudley High School in Greensboro before dropping out at the age of 16. With his drive, determination, street smarts, and an unwavering commitment to success, Clarence became one of the entertainment industry's most successful executives, as well as a respected entrepreneur, business advisor, mentor, and civic leader. Clarence's influence spans across the recording and entertainment industry, politics, and both civil rights and charitable endeavors around the world. Now, his career in music began in the late 1950s as the manager of Teddy P's Lounge in Newark, New Jersey, where he represented blues artist Little Willie John. He went on to manage several, including Joseph Glazer, the music manager of Louis Armstrong, who served as a strong influence and mentor to Clarence. Glazer encouraged him to work with composer Lalo Schifrin. And as a result, you can cheer for that, Lalo. As a result, Clarence moved to Los Angeles, the best decision he ever made. In 1967, former Motown executive William Mickey Stevenson asked Clarence to engineer the first joint venture between an African-American-owned music company, Venture Records, and a major record label, MGM Records. Clarence formed Sussex Records in Hollywood in 1969. And in the 1970s, he founded Avant-Garde Broadcasting, which was one of the first African-American-owned radio stations in the LA market. It became the beacon for black music. In January of 1976, Clarence launched music label Taboo Records. Alexander O'Neal, Sherelle, Brainstorm, Jim Gold, and General Kane were but a few of the artists featured on the Taboo Records roster. Now, throughout his career, Clarence has advised a broad range of artists and business executives, standing out as a pioneer and mentor for a generation in the music industry. He was the force behind deals with the successful rise of Grammy Award-winning R&B and pop music songwriters and producers Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. And I should mention that's one reason we placed his star right next to that of Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. That's one reason we had it here today. Now, he went on to represent Kenny Babyface Edmonds and Antonio L.A. Reid in connection with the launch of the joint venture between their labels, LaFace Records and Arista Records, spawning mega artists such as Toni Braxton. Now, Clarence has participated in a variety of civic, charitable, and business organizations, including the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, Recording Industry Association of America, Apollo Theater Foundation, the Los Angeles World Affairs Council, Inner City Broadcasting Corp., Quest Broadcasting, and the Brotherhood Crusade. I could go on, but I think on that note, it's time to bring to the stage our honoree, Clarence Avant. So if he'd join me here. Clarence? So Clarence, if you'll stand right here, you get to speak, but not yet. We have a few guest speakers who've asked to say a few words about you. Is that okay?
Are they paying me for this?
Are they paying you for this? Good question. I'm not sure. We'll have to ask them. Okay. Well, our first speaker today is best remembered for the classic Lean on Me and his other million-selling singles, Ain't No Sunshine and Use Me. Please welcome Clarence's good friend, Bill Withers, to the stage.
Hi, glad to see you. I was asked to say a few words about Clarence, and if I wouldn't have been, I would have been insulted. Excuse me for writing them down, but that ain't none of your business. As I stated earlier to his wife, Jackie, Clarence is the only person I know of who could have played in the arena that he played in, do what he's done, and live this well for this long. Many of us are here largely because he was there. They couldn't have chose a better spot on the boulevard for Clarence's star. 1 block south on Cahuenga and Selma Avenue was Wally Hyder Studios, where we recorded Ain't No Sunshine in Grandma's Hands. 1 block south of that, on the corner of Cahuenga and Sunset Boulevard, was Sussex Records, where the late Forrest Hamilton took me to my first meeting with Clarence Avant. That meeting resulted in him signing me to my first record contract. His choice of Booker T. Jones to produce my first album resulted in a life-changing experience for me. The thing that stood out most about Clarence was his energy, in a very colorful language. He was in constant communication and negotiation with somebody. He seemed to know people of all manner and mannerisms. Back in those days, he was widely known as the Guru, which has since evolved into the Godfather. He is respected by and calls among his close friends and confidants presidents, politicians, community leaders, and movers and shakers from nearly every walk of life. Quincy Jones said there's hardly a person of significance who hasn't passed by his desk. The high esteem he is held in by the business and entertainment community was probably best stated by P. Diddy. Did he? When he, I think he did. When he was facing a particular dilemma, he was asked what the first thing he did was. He replied, "I did what we all do when we get in trouble. I called Clarence Avant." And so today, my man, we all call Clarence Avant. We call him forward to accept this well-deserved honor, to be immortalized in stone with his very own star. They're gonna put your name on the Walk of Fame.
Thank you, Bill. Well, next up are an R&B songwriting and record production team They have enjoyed great success since the 1980s with various artists, most notably Janet Jackson. They have 31 top 10 hits in the UK and 41 in the US. Please welcome Walk of Famers Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Good stuff. Wow. Okay, so this is amazing. I'm going to be real short because there's so many people that want to speak on behalf of Clarence today. And of course, Clarence will speak on behalf of himself, which you got to stay tuned for that. That's going to be really good. It's kind of already been said, but I'm going to simply say this. There would be no Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis without Clarence Avant. The fact that your star is going next to ours, it couldn't be a better place. Welcome to the neighborhood, sir.
And I'd just like to say, to the brightest star among the stars, that is like our North Star that keeps us on track, thank you very much, brother. Love you, Pops.
Thank you so much. Let me acknowledge a couple of people here. We have the chair of the board of the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, Dr. Fariba Kalantari, the first dentist to lead the chamber. Where is she? Over here? Over here. And we have the chair of the Walk of Fame Committee, Vin DeBona, who also has a star on the Walk of Fame right here. Now, our next speaker's career spans the history of the music industry for more than 40 years. He has worn the hats of an agent, manager, label president, promoter, and scores of others, but he has always fought for the rights of artists. As he often admits, without them, none of us would be here. Please welcome the chairman and CEO of Azoff MSG Entertainment and the man who brought the Forum back to being a world-class entertainment venue. Please welcome Irving Azoff.
Clarence is not just the godfather to the black music business. Welcome to your bar mitzvah here today, Clarence. Back in the mid-'80s when I took over Universal Records, I turned to Clarence for advice on many, many, many occasions. He brought me Babyface and L.A. Reid. He introduced me to Jimmy and Terry, but mostly he taught me to respect the business and to put together a separate black music department. And it was the greatest advice he ever had. And you know, Universal and MCA wouldn't be the powerhouse they are today had Clarence not mentored us through that. We called him the Godfather because he was the Godfather. He was the benevolent Godfather. I was asked to say one funny anecdote about Clarence, and I've got a million, but I'll give you one. Back in those days, it was the days of payola. And a guy named Al Sharpton came to me on behalf of the independent black record promoters, and everybody in my team freaked out. And I said, that's not a problem. I'll call Clarence. He'll fix it. So I called Clarence and I told him the problem, and he listened a minute, and he said, don't let that man in your office. And he hung up on me.
So, Irving, I know you won't believe this, but this is not a roast. All right, there are a lot of VIPs here today. I can't introduce all of them, but there are some I would like to acknowledge. And if they would wave to the crowd, we have Walk of Famer Kenny Babyface. Let me say that again. I can't spit it out. Walk of Famer Kenneth Babyface Edmonds. Over here. Walk of Famer Barry Gordy. Basketball great and Walk of Famer Magic Johnson. Walk of Famer Jerry Moss. Film producer Brett Ratner. Walk of Famer Lalo Schifrin. And Walk of Famer Joe Smith. You know, this is probably the largest turnout from past Walk of Fame honorees I think we've ever had at a Walk of Fame event. So thank you for turning out on their behalf today. Well, our next gentleman is very close to Mr. Avant and his family. Please welcome to the stage award-winning actor, musician, and another Walk of Famer, Jamie Foxx.
What are you nervous about? I remember meeting you because they ain't paying you. Okay. I remember meeting Mr. Clarence Avant the first time. It was like meeting a principal. You said, I don't want to hit, and you almost pulled your hair out. I don't want to hit, and you said, mother this and mother that. I'm not going to say what the rest of the mother word was. But I got an opportunity to meet an absolute legend. I got a chance to meet your wonderful family. Alex, Mignon have always embraced me just like a family member. And I just want to be here for this incredible day to tell you that what you have done, the footprints you laid in the sand, will never be able to be washed away. Your good friend, Quincy Jones, I remember your past birthday when you guys are sitting there telling nice stories about certain gangsters, which I thought was amazing. And you are gangster, not gangster in the gangster way, but just gangster in a nice way.
Oh yeah, man, Clarence was crazy, man. Tell him about the time we were in Italy, man, when they found 10 bodies on the beach, man. Just tell him about that, Clarence.
I still have those tapes. I will be blackmailing you because we did not stop recording that night. But listen, we wanted to be here on this incredible day with all of these incredible musicians and artists to say that we love you. And this is a great day because a lot of the people that have stars, you were behind that. And so thank you for doing what you do. And we will take this to the next generation and keep on going.
Thank you, Jamie Foxx. And like I said, Clarence, this is not a roast. Okay. Our next speaker also has a star on the Walk of Fame, and he really needs no introduction. Please welcome the incomparable Quincy Jones.
Known as sucker before electricity. And like Bill Withers said before, I definitely had to put down this on paper because I know too much about him and I don't want to bust him today. Way back there. And I've had the pleasure of speaking at many of these Walk of Fame ceremonies over the years, you know. I even got one 36 years ago, man. I'm only 83 now. And I can say without hesitation or reservation that today's ceremony brings a profound sense of joy to my heart because it recognizes the contributions of my oldest, closest, ghetto-lectural friend in the world, my friend and brother, Clarence Avant. Who used to always just say, you know, he studied with Joe Glazer. He used to say, man, they're not gangsters, man, they're businessmen. He still believes that. And it's always a little dangerous for me to talk about Clarence because we've been friends this long, you know, more than 5 decades. You know a little too much about him. And I'll just say that I first met Clarence in 1963. I was vice president of Mercury Records, and we had just got a deal from Phillips to give all the jazz guys $100,000 apiece. That was a lot of money back then. Clarence come to my first meeting, he wanted me to give Jimmy Smith $450,000. I said, Clarence, man, what is wrong with you, man? You smoking Kool-Aid or something? And anyway, he went out and he didn't get that much money, but he got half of it, didn't you? From Creed Taylor. Anyway, I have no idea how he pulled that off, but we've been brothers and friends ever since then. 53 years. That is Clarence, that's who he is. He's always been the silent architect of so many deals in this country would make your head spin. Cosby, Bill Withers, Lalo Saxophone, the first Black DJs Union, got me up at 8 o'clock in the morning in New York. I can't believe it. But he just gets things done, and he's not beating his chest or bragging about it or looking for credits. He just gets it done, and that's what I've loved about him for all these years. That's the kind of human being it is. And Clarence, there'll never be enough words to express how much you mean to me, brother. You've been my dearest friend, a brother, confidant, mentor, counselor for more than 50 years. You've always told me the damn truth in every aspect of my life. Even when you didn't know, I didn't want to hear it. And in this business, we all know that's a rarity. And I just please would ask you one thing before, now that you've got this honor. Don't put no more damn ice, man, in my Chateau Petrus, man, please. He put 61 Chateau Petrus, he puts ice in it. Anyway, you're the original godfather, my brother, of our business. I can't think of a person in the world more important than being immortalized here on the Hollywood Walk of Fame than you. And I'm so honored, sincerely honored and humbled to share this beautiful day with you, Jackie, Ambassador Nicole, and Alex. God bless you, Clarence. I love you eternally.
Well, Clarence, our next speaker, is here to represent the city of Los Angeles. He's been representing Hollywood for the last 3.5 years, and let me tell you, he is truly a star on the Los Angeles City Council. Please welcome the councilman for Hollywood, Mitch O'Farrell.
Thanks, Ron. Thank you. So good to meet you. Such an honor. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are among American music royalty today. And to my right is the king, Clarence Avant. Yes. I love it in particular when we can celebrate a star who has worked behind the scenes all of these decades and who has done all of the work while no one has been looking, but has profoundly changed the way all Americans look at music. You have pioneered the sound that has defined American music, and that is no over-exaggeration. With all these great artists that you've worked with and managed and helped create, you have created a sound that is admired the world over. And how fortunate are we that Clarence has a permanent home right here on the Walk of Fame, that his legions of fans across the planet can come and celebrate you and your incredible creativity and your mastery over the decades. I think this is such a fitting moment, and I'm just so honored to be here in your presence. Just to see all of the incredible people who are here to support you speaks volumes. Rarely do we have a star ceremony where there are 6 or 7 people who are clamoring to say great things about someone. And look who just spoke in advance of you receiving your star. So it gives me great pleasure on behalf of the city of Los Angeles to present this to you. But before I do, I want to highlight something else. Your incredible charitable work over the decades. You know, that's amazing. Yes, the involvement includes the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, the Recording Industry Association of America, Apollo Theater Foundation, Los Angeles World Affairs Council, and many, many more. So while he is quietly changing the face of American music, he's doing all these wonderful things to help Americans in general, again, while no one is looking and behind the scenes. So it gives me great pleasure and a humbling experience to present this award to you on behalf of the city of Los Angeles for Clarence Avant. You're welcome. So here you go, and I think they're going to have us face this way. So I'll hold this for you, okay?
Thank you, Councilmember O'Farrell. I understand that music executive L.A. Reid has just joined us. Please acknowledge him. And let me also thank Primetime Hollywood Tours, the owner of this building. They've been very cooperative, and I'm sure they will help polish this star and keep it shining for you, Clarence. Well, Well, it's time to hear from you. You get to speak now and have the final word. But let me just say, by final way of introduction, you know, the honorary mayor for Hollywood for 30 years was Johnny Grant, and he was from Goldsboro, North Carolina. So I know he would want to do this, so in his memory today, we declare this Clarence Avant Day in Hollywood. Congratulations. And it's your turn to speak, and if you look at the cameras, we'll report.
Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon. This is a great moment in my life, especially since I'm not being paid. But I want to thank everybody for being here, and I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce for doing this. I want to thank Irv Azov, thank my daughter, thank my wife, thank all of you. You know, making a speech to me makes no sense because it's so hot. It's time to go home. So I didn't write a speech, so therefore it won't be a speech. I've enjoyed this. Thank you, Quincy, Jimmy Jam, and Terry Lewis, and Irv Azov, and who else spoke? Oh, Jamie Foxx, Bill Withers, and now Clarence Avant. You know, I always tell people life is about numbers, and since I didn't get any numbers today in terms of pay, I'm just going to say thank all of you for being here. It's hot. Let's leave. I don't need a suntan. I've said everything I wanted to say. Thank you, all of you.
Okay, Clarence, shall we unveil that star? Let's do it. Right down here.